Today I'm going to be teaching you guys 5 easy music video effects that you can be using for your music videos. Let's go. What's up guys, my name is Devin Huynh. Welcome to 11% Tutorials. As I mentioned, today I'm teaching you guys 5 music video effects that are easy to use for After Effects and Premiere Pro. The music video space is constantly changing and there's a bunch of crazy effects, and a lot of stuff that we're doing in the past few years are kind of becoming tacky and played out by now. Along with all the new visual effects, there's a lot of recreations of older visual effects that are being reused in a new light that are also really interesting to note on and will definitely bring some pop to your music videos. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the tutorial.
Alright guys, so now that we are inside of Premiere Pro, for our first effect is going to be the motion tracking effect. Now this is a pretty, not an underrated effect, but honestly it's just really cool and a really dope effect that I don't really see a lot of people using. Now there's 2 ways you can create it. You can of course create it inside of Premiere Pro, but you can also make it inside of After Effects. Now the reason being so is because when you make it in Premiere Pro, it's kind of hard and very tedious. So basically what you're going to be doing is you have to have a clip. I recommend shooting it in a very high quality. I shot this clip in like 4K so I can zoom in a lot, because yeah, you're going to be needing to zoom in a lot. And all you're going to do is you're just going to track and adjust your position to match one singular point. So I'm going to show you how to create in Premiere Pro real quick. First things first is select your display, go to your view and hit show rulers and then also show guides. And now what you're going to do is you're going to hover over your ruler and drag a guide point directly over the subject that you want to track. I want the subject point to be tracked somewhere in the middle. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and zoom in a bit, about 163, because I shot this in 4K. We're not really losing that much quality. And then I'm just going to adjust my position and scale. Let's go ahead and hit a keyframe on the position. And now for the fun and also tedious part, we're just going to go ahead through each frame and I just want you to track that one point. So we're kind of tracked on the letter U. So we're just going to go ahead and adjust each frame. But don't worry, if you have After Effects, I do definitely recommend using it because they have a motion tracking feature, which I'm going to show you right now, which is so much faster. And also you can't forget, we live in the age of AI. There's a bunch of countless free AI tools out there that can do this tracking for you. One example is runwayml.com. They have a great motion tracking feature. It's completely free to sign up. The link is in the description. But let's go ahead and hop in After Effects to create this effect. All right guys, so now that we're inside of After Effects, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our tracker panel, and what we're going to do is we're going to click on the stabilize motion button. Now you're going to get this nice little tracker point, and what you're going to do is you're going to drag it to the object or area that you want to select. I believe this white dot should be present in the entire clip. And then the outer box right here is just the range that that inner box can move within the width of a frame. Once you have your boxes set, you're going to hit analyze forward, and it should do a pretty good job of tracking. If it makes any weird jumps or mess ups and the point just completely moves to another area, you can just go ahead and readjust the boxes. That just means that the tracking information was a little bit off. And then just hit replay. And you might have to do this a couple times, but honestly, if it gets the general area, then you should be pretty good to go. So you can see now we have a pretty good general tracking. It just stays locked on the general logo area, which is all I pretty much need. And once you're done tracking, just hit apply, and it's going to say apply in X and Y dimensions, hit OK. And you can see if we hold our mouse over the car logo, it stays in the exact same area. Yes, of course, there's going to be some jumps and cuts in between. So if you want to go ahead and fix those, you can just manually adjust the position. But for now, we're honestly pretty good with this. What we're going to do to finally clean up the effect is we're just going to scale up this video by holding shift and drag it to the center, because that's kind of pretty much where we want it to be. And last but not least, I'm just going to pre-compose this. And then I'm going to right click it, hit time stretch, and then we're just going to do like 20 speed just to make it like really fast warp lock effect. And you can see now if we play that out, we have a pretty neat tracking effect. One last final effect I always love to add to just make this like really top tier is you can add a new adjustment layer. And it's going to create an adjustment layer, and then you go to your effects and we're going to search for a directional blur. I always like to add a directional blur to our top layer, and I'm just going to increase the length to something like 100, set it to 90 degrees or whatever direction you're moving in. And then I'll just go ahead and create a simple mask around this by using my pen tool. So let's create a little mask around the logo. And we're just going to go ahead and invert that mask and feather it a bunch so that we have this really, really nice, sick motion blur that's going on all around the edges of the effect. And it honestly just looks really cool. The faster the clip is, the better the effect looks. So I might even change this time stretch to something like 8 And now you can see we have this really dope motion tracking effect. Moving on to our next effect is going to be the spin transition. Let's go ahead and get rid of our rulers right now. We don't really need those. But this effect right here is just really cool. I love how just smooth and clean it is. And also it's really simple and you can create this inside of Premiere Pro. So right here, I have 2 clips loaded up. I have one of this planet shot and then one of this crowd shot. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure that this video like spins and focuses on Uzi right here, which is right here and kind of in the middle. What we're going to do is we're first going to go to our effects and we're going to create a new adjustment layer once again. So let's create an adjustment layer in our library, drag it to our video clip, and I'm just going to cut it to the length of about like, let's say 40 frames ish. I'm just giving a pretty general guess. And now let's go ahead and add a transform effect from our effects panel. So drag the transform to your adjustment layer. And first, very important, unclick use composition shutter angle and increase the shutter angle to something like 290 to 360. That's like a pretty good area that I like. And then what we're going to do is we are going to go out to the very beginning of the adjustment layer. We're going to hit a keyframe on the scale, position, and rotation. Now what we're going to do, because this is a rotation effect, we're going to go to the end of the adjustment layer right here, and I'm just going to like crank up that rotation a crap ton. So let's just rotate it a bunch until we get an exact 360 spin. So I'm spinning this thing like about 4 times. And you can see if we play this out, boom, we have a nice like spinning rotation effect right there. But let's go ahead and adjust these keyframes first. I'm going to hit the drop down on the rotation, and I'm just going to select both of these keyframes, right click them, and ease in. And that way we have this nicer, like smoother effect. And you can of course always just go ahead and adjust those keyframes to make it like even smoother. Now, once you have this nice spin animation, there's only one issue. You can see right here, we have some black edges on the screen just because we're rotating it and there's nothing else to fill in those edges. Now, this is a really simple, easy fix. All you have to do is go to your effects and search for the replicate effect. And we're gonna drag that to our adjustment layer as well. Now, one important thing before you get this error and freak out, drag the replicate before the transform layer effect. And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna go ahead and increase that replicate count to 3. And one last thing, go to your transform, and on your scale, make sure you unclick this keyframe animation if you have that on, and zoom in to 300%. And now you can see if we play this out, boom, there's actually like replicated edges of our video clip layer on the edge so that we don't have any like black edges going on. And it really helps that this clip is a lot darker. But if you have some edges that are pretty harsh and the tile is kind of weird, then you can just go ahead and use a mirror effect as well to blend those edges. So with that, that is our second effect, which is the spin animation effect. Moving on to our third effect is going to be an absolute essential for any music video, and that method is camera shakes. Now, camera shakes are pretty simple and easy to create in Premiere Pro. Of course, once again, you're going to need an adjustment layer. Adjustment layers are really kind of the theme of today's video. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to zoom in, and the key to making good camera shakes is making sure that they're very fast and just like simple and straight to the point, and also have a lot of motion blur. And the way to achieve that is by making them about like 10 to 8 frames if you're on a 24 frame per second sequence. And then what you're going to do is go to your effects, search for the transform effect once again, and we're going to drag that to our adjustment layer. And then of course, unclick the use shutter speed composition angle, increase the shutter angle to something around 360, and let's just go ahead and create some keyframes. Before you do anything, go to the beginning of your adjustment layer, hit a keyframe on the position and scale, and then just hold Option or Alt to duplicate those keyframes and drag those to the very other end of the adjustment layer. Now let's go to the very center of this adjustment layer clip, zoom in a little bit. I'm going to zoom in like 150. I think that's pretty good. And just go ahead and create some random keyframe directions. I just say like move the camera wherever you feel like it, and go 2 frames, and just go ahead and keep moving your camera in like weird, cool, unique angles, and you'll see you get some cool motion blur effects. The more keyframes there are, the better the camera shake is going to look. And you can see if we play that out, boom, we have this crazy camera shake effect. Now that's just a very simple, easy one. Of course, once again, we have those black edges right there, but you can of course fix that by using the same replicate method effect that we used in the last spin transition. Now, if you do want to create a camera shake in Premiere Pro, yes, you are going to have to do this each time. Create an adjustment layer, use the transform, add a keyframe. But if you do want to save that time, we actually do have a preset pack called Shake It Up V2. It has 50 plus camera shake presets inside of Premiere Pro. I'll show you, actually, it just loads up in your effects panel. You can just search up Shake It Up V2, and you see we have a bunch of crazy presets right here, all created by me customly. All you have to do to make this effect is just create an adjustment layer. Of course, once again, make it the exact amount of frames that any of these effects say. So we see we have a heavy one right here, heavy flash, 8 to 10 frames. This is about 8 frames, and you just drag it to the adjustment layer, and boom, we have a crazy effect, camera shake with the flash, and there's no edges at all, and just create some dope camera motion blur effects going on right here. We have a bunch of other ones. We have like hits right here. This is a hit with a flash. That one's pretty simple. We have light, medium effects. We even have like spins too, which I also think are really cool. This one. So if you want to save the time of having to recreate that last spin effect that we made, we have a whole preset for that. So that just saves you some time right there. So if you want to save yourself the time of not having to make these camera shakes, you can check the pack out at 11%.net. With that, let's move on to our fourth effect. For our fourth effect, we're going to be creating some dope mixed media transitions and effects. This is an overlay preset pack that I just dropped. We have a bunch of crazy overlays in this pack. So all you have to do is you can just drag on whatever file that you like. So this one is like a really cool one. They're all come in 4K files right here. I'm just going to scale it down. Go to your effects, search for ultra key, drag the ultra key to the video, and then just key out the green right there. And boom, you can see we have some nice Japanese mixed media stop motion effects. And if you want to make it blend in even more with your video, what you can do is you can just go to your effects. You can search for the posterized time effect, and you can drag the posterized time effect to your video layer, change the frame rate to something like 12 because that is the actual frame rate of these animations. And then what we also include in our mixed media effect is like this paper texture overlay. I'm going to drag this over our video, scale it down of course because it's in 4K, and then I'm going to change the blending mode to screen. And you can see once we play this out, now we have this crazy like paper looking effect, and it looks like we printed out the video and added some like stop motion textures. And now of course, no offense, if you don't want to get our mixed media texture pack on 11%.net, there's a bunch of other crazy overlays I'm sure you can find on YouTube, green screen, and like you can even make some too if you want, using like actual paper and taking pictures of them, which is what I did. But once again, if you want to save yourself that time, it's a really easy way to create some dope effects. You can see we made this in like a couple of seconds by just dragging and dropping. So with that, that's our fourth effect. Now guys, we're gonna move on to our fifth and final effect. Now this effect is personally my favorite. I think it's a really underrated effect right now, but this is gonna be our frame match cut effect. Now this match cut effect is absolutely insane for transitions, effects. If you want to add like a build up riser section of your video, really dope effect. All you have to do for this effect is take 4 pictures during your shoot of like something with the same logo or a same like object, whether it's a square icon or a circle, or in our case right here, we're going to be using the Rolling Loud logo. So I have 4 different photos of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first select them, right click them, and go to speed duration, and then I'm going to change them to about 4 frames, and this is under a 24 frame per second sequence. Hit OK, and then I'm just going to go sequence and then close gaps so that they're all linked together. And you can see once we play that out, boom, we have this nice like really quick flashing effect. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and change all their opacities to around 75%. Copy that and just paste them to all these other layers right here so we can see through them all. And now we're just going to go ahead and layer them and line them up. So I recommend starting with your largest logo first and then just centering that one, because if you don't, you might have some black edges that you have to like adjust for. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to drag the next layer over it and then just zoom in and match up the logos. And once you've matched up your first 2 logos, you should be able to play them, and you can see it looks like the logo stays in the exact same place, but everything around it changes. And you're just going to continue the process for the rest of your pictures. And now once you've lined up all your clips, you can just go ahead and turn the opacity back up to 100% on all of them. So we're just going to paste that to all of them. And now you can see if we play this out, boom, we have this crazy looking match cut effect. And one way to make it cooler is I recommend just duplicating these 4 pictures, like maybe 3 or 4 times, and then go ahead and close the gap. The faster the cuts between them, the like cooler the effect is. So I recommend you even like cut it to maybe even 3 frames if you want. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select them, right click them, and then just nest them all together in one layer. I'm going to search on my effects, go for a transform effect. Once again, transform effect is really popping too. I'm going to unclick the use composition shutter angle, increase shutter angle to like 150, and then you can just go ahead and add a zoom in, like a quick zoom in animation. I think that looks pretty cool. And of course add a sound effect, and boom, there you go, we have this dope looking match cut effect. And on top of that, if you add a camera shake to that from our Shake It Up V2 pack, the effect will just be absolute gas. I'm serious. And with that guys, here are the final results.
If you guys made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you again so much for watching. Really, it means the world to me. If you found any value or help from this video, please be sure to smash the like button and hit subscribe. It's free. All this content is free, so it really means a lot. And once again, if you're interested in saving yourself some time, definitely make sure to check out our store, 11%. timelapse.net. Super easy and simple to use these preset packs. And like I said, most of our preset packs are compatible across all video editing applications: After Effects, Premiere Pro, Final Cut, Sony Vegas, DaVinci, and a bunch more. So definitely make sure to check out 11%.net. And one more thing to mention, if you're interested in becoming a preset pack seller and earning some extra passive income as a video editor on the side, you can check out our seller application form in the link in the description. There we'll teach you how to create preset packs, market them, sell them on our website so you can start earning some extra passive income as a video editor. So if you're interested, definitely make sure to check out the link in the description. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.